It's Tuesday, so it's time for another episode of Canteen Cup Tuesday. Here we go. Okay, welcome back all my YouTube friends. It's time for another edition of Canteen Cup Tuesday. Last Tuesday, I cooked up the Dinty Moore beef stew and I mixed it up with some nice egg noodles. And I had never had Dinty Moore beef stew before. I always saw it in the store and I always walked by it and thought, man, I bet that stuff really sucks. Well, by itself, it ain't too good. But when you dress it up a little bit, put some egg noodles with it, you could put some other veggies with it, maybe some pepper like I did, and maybe our good old tried and true hot sauce, it really wasn't bad. I got some comments and some private comments saying Chunky's better, Dinty's better. Oh, I take Dinty out deer hunting. Oh, Dinty sucks. Try Chunky. So today, guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna compare and contrast it with some Chunky. And lucky for me, this has got the pull top on it also, so I don't got to use a can opener. This is the Chunky beef with country vegetables, 15 grams of protein, and it's got 860 milligrams of sodium. So the sodium's still up there. In Florida, that really doesn't concern me because, it's real hot and we're sweating a lot. So you need something to replace that sodium that you lose through sweating. So we're going to do this basically the same way. I'm going to cook up some noodles and we're going to cook it up the same. This is going to make almost the same amount. This is 18 ounces where the Dinty Moore was 20 ounces. So we're really, really close. I'm going to cook this up the same way, and then I'm going to give this the taste test, and then we're going to see who wins the shootout. Dinty versus Chunky. Let's go. Okay, here we go with our regular cast of characters. We got Old Faithful Canteen Cup, of course. We got our stove with some gas. We got about a cup of noodles. We got our Chunky. We got some black pepper, and we got our Old Faithful Cristal hot sauce. So let's get this on. We'll get the noodles cooking and we'll do it the same way so that we can get a apples to apples taste test of Chunky versus Dinty. Okay, we got a little bit of water. Now we're gonna get this guy going. I don't have much gas. I hope I got enough to do this. All right. All right, there we go. We'll bring you back when the water's boiling. Okay, while our water's boiling, and because there's nothing more exciting than watching water boil, it's this bushcraft and outdoor stuff and camping, it just doesn't have to be expensive. I'm really proud of everybody. They've been cooking some great Canteen Cup recipes. I can't believe what y'all have been able to recreate in the Canteen Cup. I can't believe that what I have been able to do. This is number 47 for me, by the way. And it just doesn't have to be expensive. Today we're going to do an ordinary old can of Chunky and we're going to dress it up a little bit. But you could easily do this when you're out hiking or camping, overnight, whatever. You don't have to bring cowboy ribeyes or giant steaks or bacon, eggs, all that stuff is great. But if you want to keep it down, and if you want to keep it down to a manageable level and you don't want to do anything special and you kind of want to get the feeling of backwoods camping, just some easy soup or some ramen or some dehydrated veggies that you can rehydrate back up and make a great meal. That's really all it takes. So the spirit of Canteen Cup Tuesday is to just get out in the woods and do some videos. So I think our water should be boiling up here pretty soon. Let's go check it out and we'll get those noodles on. All right, hear that water percolating. And I got my glove on today also because these wings are still pretty hot, even though it's cooking on a gas stick. So we're just gonna get our egg noodles in. Oh yeah. And I love egg noodles. They no refrigeration, they don't spoil. You can basically do anything with them. So our egg noodles are in there. We're gonna cook up them egg noodles. And then we're gonna add the Chunky. All right, our egg noodles are coming along nice and smooth, starting to soften up really nice. Nothing sticking. These babies are going to be done in a couple of minutes. Then I'm going to go drain these. I'm just going to drain them using the old Canteen Cup lid today. Just going to go drain these, and then we'll be back and we'll be ready to put in the Chunky. Wow, that's really going to make a lot too. Alright, we got the noodles in the bottom. Stir up the noodles. So we get some noodles at the top. Okay. Alright. The Chunky already tastes a little bit better. Than the Dinty. So we're going to heat our Chunky. Let's see how that goes. Alright, I can feel the Canteen Cup rumbling, which means we're cooking. I don't want to burn it on the bottom. I can already feel a little bit of it getting on the bottom, but it's alright. Chunky, it's warming up, and we don't need it as hot as a flash furnace. It's warming up nicely. Okay, right out of the gate, I can taste the Chunky has a much different taste than the Dinty. So we're gonna discuss that in a few minutes. Okay, let's see where we're at. Alright, we're simmering, bubbling a little bit at the top. I kind of wanted to get it pretty hot because it took the Dinty Moore a while for the gravy to kind of thin out, you know, and get kind of brothy instead of gravy. This is still kind of thick, but it's still hot. But it's hot. This is almost ready. We're going to give this just like another minute more, and then we're going to pull it off. The gravy looks to be thicker in the Chunky than it did in the Dinty, so we'll see. All right, let's check her out now. Okay. I think we're plenty hot enough. The gravy's starting to thin out a little bit more. You could always add a little water if you wanted to. But it's pretty hot, so I think we're gonna just turn that off, get this baby down here, and we're gonna put the lid on and let it sit for a couple minutes, and then come back. Okay, here we go. We've been sitting for a couple minutes. Canteen Cup's off. Alright, this is looking pretty good. It smells a lot different than the Dinty Moore did. The Dinty Moore smells more beefier, and this smells more veggier. Okay, still not that great. We're gonna kick it up a little bit with some black pepper. I'm just gonna put a little bit of black pepper in there. I don't do anything in moderation, obviously. So let's see what the pepper did. Alright, the pepper didn't do too much. So what would anything be without our old Cristal hot sauce? And y'all know me, just a drop. As I turn the whole top red. Alright, let's see what this does. Oh, that kind of thinned it out a little bit more. Alright, hot sauce. Yeah, let's see. That definitely changed it. Alright, let me get this camera up here and we'll do the taste test. Okay, here we go. The definitive shootout, Dinty Moore beef stew versus Chunky. Cooked the same exact way. I put about a cup of egg noodles in each one of them. I put some pepper on it just to kick up the spice a little bit, and I put just a drop of hot sauce in each one. Now let's see how the Chunky is. Now the Chunky looks totally different, but it looks pretty darn good. All right. You know, it's really hard to tell. The chunky looks different. I mean, it's got peas and carrots, but I guess the Dinty Moore had carrots in it too. But there's some similarities there. The Dinty Moore did have big chunks of what I think was beef or some kind of meat. There's really not. There's little tiny chunks in the chunky. Hence the name chunky. They're really close on the looks and on a bare taste. I think I would have to give the edge to chunky, just very slightly. After I peppered up the Dinty Moore and put hot sauce in it, it was still pretty darn good. Plus it made a lot, and the chunky makes almost, you know, we're right up to here on the Canteen Cup versus the chunky. So here we go, the ultimate challenge. I think chunky edged the Dinty Moore by just a little bit. Both are really big lunches or dinners or whatever you want to do. You know, it's not like homemade beef stew that you can put a lot of other additives in when you're at home. You know, out on the trail, just cranking along. You want to stop, open up a can of chunky beef stew, throw it in a Canteen Cup, warm it up. You're in business in under 10 minutes. So, like I said before, this bushcraft and outdoor Canteen Cup Tuesday thing doesn't have to be expensive. Just show me your recipes, man. This is fun. Now I get to compare and contrast some other stuff. Maybe I'll do some north sides. I don't know. But it's still too hot to go outside, or out in the woods rather. I'm outside right now on the back porch and I'm sweating. It's a balmy 90 degrees in the shade today, and that stupid hurricane's out in the Gulf, and it's pulling a lot of rain and the rain clouds through Central Florida, so it's kind of tough. But get out, get going on your Canteen Cup Tuesdays. And let me see what you can make. So, until next time, this is Matt the Old Florida Boy, and I will see you on the trail.